Hey, welcome back to Closing Shift. This is Emmy from Closing Shift. I have some bad news to break to you. We are letting you know that our show is going away because we hate all of you. That was a request personally from Mia to say that.
True. Yeah. Fuck you.
Yeah. Episode 27, appropriately titled, Fuck All of You.
It's crazy that people listen to this show and they still think that we like them. Like, at this point.
You are some sad little leeches, aren't all of you? No, we're not ending the show, dum-dum. Welcome back to Closing Shift. Like I said, this is episode 27. I'm your host, Emmy. That's your other host, Mia. We are here once again to do our thing. I have the stage for the opening question this week, and I don't know why we think of these for like 30 minutes before we're doing the show, but I thought of this one. This is the best I could do at the moment. But what if money was no factor in it at all and you could just have these things? What are three either ridiculous or simple luxury items that you would like to have hypothetically in your own home or in the home you live in now? Any kind of thing. Just three luxury items you can have regardless of income at all. You don't need to keep up with them if they're that kind of thing. Just anything.
First one, easily, espresso machine. I'd very much like to expand my horizons of what types of drinks I can make in my home. I think that would really just go for most things. It would all just be cooking related or food related things, either for things that require specific tools to make or just are made a lot easier through the usage of tools. Like, I have an egg cooker that my grandma gave to me for Christmas a couple years ago, and I use it regularly because I just like hard-boiled eggs. And it's just nice to just have hard-boiled eggs on tap. So that probably answers, like, all three is just, like, easiest answer, espresso machine. Other two, just fill in whatever other cooking instruments I may want. That's probably it.
What are the two you most want besides the espresso machine?
How am I going to pad out more time on this? I don't know.
Well, you're going to take a test and you're going to write whichever one is right on the answers. You gotta be specific. Gotta let the juice flow out of the steak here.
Can I get a little repeat of the initial question?
Regardless of income, what are three luxury items, either like ridiculously luxury or simple, that you would like to have hypothetically in your own home or in the home you live in now, either way?
I would like 2 more espresso machines.
All right. That's it?
Yeah. I don't know. There's not a lot of luxury items that I'm really like, ooh.
Well, that's why I said, like, luxury to you if it's simple, or, like, luxury. I don't mean, like, expensive cars or, like, giant arcade machines. I just mean, like, anything that you would consider a luxury item that you'd like to get your hands on, but you don't think it's worth spending the money right now. If money wasn't a factor, you would totally get one.
I think I'm just a very simple person. Like, I don't even know, really, like, I don't seek luxuries to know what luxuries I would like.
I just seek espresso machines.
I'm all about the espresso, that's true.
I don't really do that either, but like I said, that was like the best I could do today. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I keep hitting my microphone.
Oh my god.
It's in a different position, and I keep forgetting that it's there, and I keep moving my hand up.
fucking stop.
You need to get the fuck out of my face.
You need to get the fuck off of my stage.
Just to bring up some small talk, I wanted to bring up this whole thing on the podcast, but I had a no good, very bad day of work at my job. On Wednesday, I went in and I got it was the first day I decided to wear makeup. I felt pretty. I just wanted to. I tried to just force myself to do it for myself, and it ended up looking really good. It was a really good look for that day. I really appreciated that I did that for myself. And considering it was the first day I'd done makeup in like a month or so, at least a few weeks, it was really sad that the first thing that happened to me once I got in public and parked my car outside of my workplace before I went in, there was immediately a man who came from across the way, which the parking lot across the way was the parking lot of a bar, so I'm pretty sure he was intoxicated while he was doing all this, but he was just, he asked me for like money, and then he asked me for like a ride, and then for like 5 minutes straight or longer, he was just like begging me for my phone number and to take me on a date and stuff, and being a real sleaze ball, just not leaving me alone. I do not exaggerate 1 point beyond the barrier that he was bitching and moaning that I was saying no, and continuing to not accept my no's for an answer. Just like, come on, like, please, whatever. It was just like, just the saddest.
Would you equate it to the whining of a child?
Yes. It was as if I took his Xbox away and I was his mom. Like, all of a sudden I had to take care of this bitch who just wouldn't fucking shut up and leave me alone. And it made me feel a little bad that I did my makeup, and that was the first compliment, quote unquote, I got, was somebody being weird and creepy. And like, he like asked if I like had a gothic style to my look too, because he was looking for a mommy, clearly. Like, that's what he was looking for. He was looking for like Rhea Ripley mommy style shit.
Yep.
And I was like, bro, dude, like, I am so tired. Shut the fuck up. I have to go to work.
Please, I'm so pathetic. Take care of me. I can't make it on my own.
Like Wyatt from Adventure Time, who was Tree Trunk's husband at one point, like, think that. But just like a random dude who came up to me on the street. And if you have experiences like this, I'm sure you understand how socially uncomfortable it is when a man who is attracted to you just like comes up and just like begs to basically become your partner on the spot. And personally, I don't understand the logic, and it's because there's really no logic behind it. But the thought process behind why men think that's what women want, why men think we want to just like go with them because they came out of nowhere and asked us. We're sitting around and waiting for that. I hit my mic again. I fucking hate my life. What happened next that I didn't tell Mia before the show started? I told Mia about that. I gave the basic rundown. But anyway, fuck that guy. Fuck all men. I'm on my fuck all men shit right now. I can't trust any of them. I have not had a good romantic experience with a man in like over a year and a half. But also what happened that day at work was I got a migraine like as soon as I went in, because I've been stressed the fuck out for 3 weeks straight every day. I've been rattling it all off to my therapist when I see her once a week. And I'm thankful I have her, because if I didn't have her, it would be a lot worse. And when I got to work, I got a migraine. I took a little Tylenol we had in the back, and I felt a little better. And then while my calf muscle had already hurt a little bit earlier that day, I squatted down to get something out of a refrigerator I needed, because I work in a kitchen. I squatted down really quickly, and my calf muscle, I do not exaggerate when I say this either, exploded.
Oh my God.
It hurt so fucking bad that I couldn't walk on it for like an hour. And then my migraine came back, and then I just felt shitty by the end of the day. My calf stopped hurt. I was like gonna leave work and go to the hospital, but like I was like gonna leave work and go to the hospital, and I was like texting my mom. I was like, I don't know what just happened, but I think I just pulled a muscle in my leg or something. And like yesterday my knee kind of hurt, and I was just like, no. And then I kind of just like shut it down, and then it stopped hurting. But that was on Wednesday. This past week, what will be like a week and a half ago for you guys when you listen to this. But I'm just, it was just so exhausting. And that was really just honestly a physical manifestation of my stress, which I have MS, and that can do that. I have multiple sclerosis, and stress is really bad for people with MS. It can do things like that. It can physically manifest into pain. So since I was so fucking stressed and thinking about so many fucking things at once, my migraines were just like the worst. I had a headache for like 3 days straight, and that day it was probably the worst it was, but it was pretty bad anyway. And then also I blew my leg up. Thankfully nothing serious happened, and it's fine now, and I didn't even treat it. I just got over it because I'm just a stubborn, forgetful person. And I didn't wear makeup to work for the rest of the week because I didn't feel like it. I was going to yesterday we're recording this on a Saturday, and I work Tuesday through Friday. So like yesterday was Friday, the last day I work of the week. I was going to wear it yesterday, and I just decided not to. I gave myself a pass because I felt like shit. I usually would like kind of beat myself up for not putting in enough effort to feel pretty, but I was like, I'll give myself a pass today. I've kind of had a rough week. And everyone I told at work was just like, I'm so sorry you went through that. And I was like, I mean, it's okay, thank you. It's only hard for me mainly because I only started being out and comfortable as a woman like a couple years ago. So I'm not like incredibly used to like the harassment thing.
Yeah.
Which a lot of women are and shouldn't have to be, and I shouldn't have to learn how to deal with it, but I'm going to.
Yeah, just to clarify, that's not a good thing to have to be familiar with.
Yeah, I'm not saying like it's a lesson to be learned as in like you should learn it.
Oh, just get used to it. You'll get over it.
It's just, yeah, just keep pepper spray on you all the time if you're a woman.
It's fine. Just each increasing year will just add more and more things that women will need to arm with just to stay safe.
Right. I'm just blown away. The timing was just ridiculous because, I mean, like, I don't know. It's I don't need weird men to tell me I look good. Like, I know I look good. I don't need validation from them. I certainly don't need them in any capacity to make me feel better about myself. They make me feel worse about myself.
And also, just to clarify for viewers at home,
Listeners.
that also does not include people who think themselves to be non-weird men to comment on appearances either, because that also just makes you a weird guy.
Yeah.
I'm not a weird guy. I can compliment your appearance.
Don't build that complex in your brain, because that is weird. If you're a man, just know your place when you're thinking about saying something about a woman's appearance. It's okay to appreciate a woman's appearance platonically, but don't make it a thing, especially if you're like raging boner is doing the talking for you, because nobody gives a shit. And nobody wants to hear it either.
Real easy to be real creepy.
It's really easy to come off like that. I literally build a little bit of faith that I might find love with a man one day, every few months, and then something like this happens, and I lose it all over again, 100%, because I don't trust them. I absolutely refuse right now to try to build any kind of new relationship with a man at all. Like, it's only guys that I know and trust already that I'm cool with, and any other guy is immediately marked as like a red flag until I know they're cool.
Yeah.
I'm thankful that like I have coworkers, and if like something had happened, I could have told them, and they would have probably helped me call the police and stuff. Like if something serious had happened. I mean, I also, if something had happened, I would have hopefully successfully defended myself, and I would have knocked his ass out happily. But yeah, bro just wanted a goth mommy and found one on the street and thought he could just pick it up like a $20 bill, which is sad that was just like so easy for him to come up to me and try to do. If only John Breaks Bad News could have delivered it for me, that would have been easier.
If only you would have had 3 luxury items that that you could have with no amount of upkeep or having to pay for them. And just out of curiosity, what would those be?
My 3 luxury items would be a pink diamond-studded pistol, a pink diamond-studded duffel bag, and a pink diamond-studded like potato sack for no reason.
It's Tiffy time.
It's Tiffy time. I'm just disappointed in men. I really thought, I don't know. It makes me so hard to like, or it makes it so hard for me. It does not make me hard in any way. It makes it hard for me to think that I'll ever be able to trust anyone like that. And considering I have grown to establish that I am sexually straight and attracted to men, I don't want to be. I honestly wish there was any part of me that was like romantically attracted to women, but I know that I'm not. And I mean, that's okay. But also just, I don't know. I just like the idea of having, I just find love in like my friends and family and stuff. Mia's basically my life partner, to be honest, in terms of how much fucking time we spend together and think about each other.
Yeah, this fucking point.
We're life partners in the business kind of way, though. We keep it real. We lay our cards out on the table and our money and tickets to things.
We put our pussies on the table.
And then we eat it on some fine china.
But do you have a legitimate answer to the luxury question?
It's a thought for sure. I mean, one thing, I guess, it's not really like a super luxury item, but it would make me feel a lot better to have is I want to replace the desk I have with a desk that has like a hutch over it with like drawers and shelves. It's got a lot of storage in it and display shelves and stuff. I want to get a desk like that because that would look a lot nicer to me. For my desk right now, it's just like, it's a standing desk that can raise and lower, but it raises and lowers using a crank that's really loud and annoying. It's gotten more loud and annoying over time. So it doesn't have like buttons. It's not like that. And also it's just got white plain ass looking legs and then a white plain ass looking like desktop. That's just like a long board. It looks like a glorified beer pong table.
Ugly.
And it just, yeah, it's not satisfying. I'd rather just have like a wooden desk with like an overhead hutch, and I only learned that those are called a hutch because I searched Amazon for a desk with blank, and then a hutch came up, and I found out that's what that is. But yeah, I actually have one on Amazon that here I can actually send you a picture of it if you want to see it. Too bad.
Haha.
We really got to come up with a way to deal with that. Let me think of other luxury items while I send this. Me and my sister need to also, we have a calendar in our kitchen we use to keep up with each other's stuff, and ours is about to run out. It only goes to July. It only goes to this month, and then it'll be August by the time you guys hear this, and it'll be up, but we haven't bought a new one yet.
Oh, God. That means that the world's about to end.
How are we supposed to organize stuff? That's what it looks like, the one I found.
Oh, nice.
It's nice. It's called, what's the color? It's called rustic brown. It's got like a nice big desktop and then a elevated platform for monitors. It's got enough room to keep like a laptop and a mouse and keyboard on, and it's got plugs in the top to like put phone chargers and stuff or whatever. It's also got a stand for the PC on the side. It's got like a big drawer and 2 little drawers and then some shelves and a top hutch where you can put stuff. That's the kind of desk I want, personally.
That's real cozy.
No, it looks real cozy. I've wanted that kind of desk for a while. I always thought of it as like a grandparent desk because I feel like a lot of desks used to look like that.
You know what we need to bring back? I guess it's more difficult to bring back because of the size of things that people place on their desks these days. You know, like having all kinds of computer stuff, monitors, all kinds of equipment.
Monitors, mouses, and keyboards and stuff, mouse pads.
It's not just like the stationery of the days of old, but a lot of old desks, like the kinds that like my grandma has one, they would have like a cover. Like you could like lock your desk. It would have like a little folding thing. Or not like a garage door almost that would like come down over the desk.
I know what you mean, I think. Those have a name, I think. I just forget what it is.
Let me look it up.
I think it's called a secretary. I think those are called a secretary, or secretaries are similar if that's not a secretary.
A temporary secretary.
I think that's what it's called.
I'm trying to find what this is. The problem is that, it is called a secretary. I believe you are correct.
Awesome.
It's so hard to find, like, some types of furniture these days because it doesn't matter what the type of furniture is actually called. It's just going to get referred to as, whatever key descriptive names can be thrown on it for the algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
You look at an Amazon listing, and it's just like, this is, 90% not words that are related to this item. I can't hardly shop on Amazon anymore. I look at the listings on there. Like, if I just want to find a simple item that's just the most basic thing that you would expect to be on Amazon, you look it up, and then you either get a bunch of completely unrelated items that just have a similar keyword thrown into there for algorithm purposes, or it's actual AliExpress junk that's just been renamed, upsold, whatever, under a million different seller names. That's just a conjunction of fully uppercase random letters and numbers.
Yeah, I don't have that issue personally, but I understand where you come from.
Endless trash!
At least I have yet to have that kind of experience. I like going to Amazon nowadays because I can usually find what I'm looking for.
You ought to tell Bono.
Now that I live in an apartment in the city, it's a lot easier to just get stuff delivered here. Not always, because some bozos can't fucking navigate an apartment complex, but it is just nice to get stuff delivered. Like, I can come home from work sometimes and have my product, or I can nap through the rest of the day and then wake up at 3 p.m. and my item is here, and then I can start fucking with it. I want to order that desk because it's $160, which is savable. It's manageable. I can save
That's
for that.
That's not bad for a desk, yeah.
Not bad for that kind of desk, especially since I want it so bad. I also need a new chair. This chair has also fallen to the squeaks, and it makes me so mad when my chairs squeak like that. That's why I started using this chair, because this chair's not as comfortable as the other one I had, but the other one screamed squeaks with every move it made. And now this one can only it can lean back, but when I lean back and I bring it back up, it squeaks now. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I started looking at chairs as well, but I'm not in the market for buying anything like that new until I don't even know. My biggest problem recently with money is that I know where so much of my money is going ahead of time for so long that it's hard not to think about the distant future and plan for it. And that makes me forget to plan for every day, or that makes me freeze when I think I have to plan for every day, because there's so much shit. I have to plan stuff for now, but I have to think about then when I'm planning stuff for now also sometimes. And then I'm like, well, just what's the fucking, now I just want to sleep until all that shit's going on.
Yeah, it's how am I going to cram in all this short-term stuff in all my long-term plans.
I'm sleeping till Brooklyn. I am not with the Beastie Boys.
I do not get that reference.
You don't know the song No Sleep Until Brooklyn?
Nope. I don't even know who that's by.
That's by the Beastie Boys.
You see, that just answers any question of why I haven't heard it.
Well, I do find that impressive, but
I've heard a couple Beastie Boys songs that are rather popular songs. I do not seek the boys. All I know, all women born after 1997 know is Brass Monkey.
I was seeing where it is on their Spotify. No Sleep Till Brooklyn is their second most popular song on Spotify.
All I can think of when you say that is the Dollop podcast in a part of their intro highlight reel that they do for each episode. There's just a little interaction where they're like, no sleep, no hippo! No sleep, no hippo! Quite like those funny boys. Also, I've been thinking about my own desk chair a lot recently, too. This one's been holding on the absolute longest of any desk chair I've had, because this one has metal legs instead of plastic. I went very specifically out of my way to try and find one that was not no plastic components on this thing, because I don't want this thing to break immediately. And it's been holding out for a good few years. But at this point, it kind of tilts. The seat kind of sits at a bit of an angle. Aside from just liking the spine support of it, I don't keep it out of the locked upright position because of also insane amounts of squeaking. And both armrests have been gone from this thing for at least, one of them fell off 2 years ago, and the other one fell off maybe a year ago. Maybe, actually, you know what? Probably closer to 2.5 and 1.5 years, respectively. That this has just been, falling apart. And I can still sit on it. Still has a back on it. But I do fear the day that this thing is going to be unsittable.
Right.
I like to keep a certain amount in savings for if I have any piece of equipment that breaks that I'm going to need to replace. You know, it's like microphones, chairs, even if my whole fucking desk collapse, or even an individual part of my computer that may need replacing. I like to make sure that I have guaranteed, if something goes wrong, I have a backup plan. But currently, since the planning for Bad Blood, that's not going so great anymore. In terms of if this chair broke tomorrow, I'd be like, well, shit.
It would not be the end of my life if I didn't have this chair. It's not the only chair in my apartment, but it would definitely suck. I just need something softer and more consistent and won't squeak in the first month that I'm using it. Much like you, I'm not really into the luxury. I kind of just focus on one thing at a time. I mean, Bad Blood is also a major factor in why I will not be purchasing anything like that anytime soon. And I mean, that's okay because that was a luxury thing that we did. Was the point of it.
It is quite literally a vacation.
Yeah. I mean, even for me, it's really not even going to feel like I'm living in my house when you're here. It's going to feel completely different.
Yeah, not after I shit on everything.
Yeah, well, Kiki might bite you and kill you if you do that, so good luck. Kiki is my dog, if you don't know. The dog that lives with me, anyway.
The dog that lives in my head.
I got that dog in me. If we were sponsored by one brand, what is a brand you'd want to be sponsored by? So we had to use their products and we had to talk about them on the show.
I used to say Tums, but that was before I found out about the horrible side effects of Tums.
That was before you made that whole episode about it.
Before you made a whole fucking stink about it and ruined our chances.
No, I just remember it being the name of the episode.
Yeah, the Tums conspiracy.
Mm-hmm. Listen to our show. I think mug root beer would be pretty funny.
Oh, of course, mug root beer. I'm trying to think if there's anything, though, if there's any brands that I actually like, because, you know me.
Mm-hmm. I do. That's why I think this question is interesting.
Yeah, so I'm not exactly sure.
Slim Jim?
Yeah, brother.
Snap it to a Slim Jim?
It would. I would love if we could get ourselves a Slim Jim car. That would be nice.
That would be pretty funny. Just film an ad. Closing Shift X. Slim Jims.
Slimothy Jimothy.
Doesn't Spotify for podcasters have a thing like that? They have a thing that'll get you in touch with advertisers or something?
That was a thing through Anchor. I don't know if that's still a thing through Spotify for podcasters.
I think it is, but I might be wrong.
I would not know. I see constantly all the time those sponsorship opportunities through Stream Elements that are for shitty mobile games, and you only get paid if, like 10 people download the game and actually play it up to a certain point. And everything, unless that happens, is just free advertising for them. So if you're a streamer, you do stuff online, whatever, and you get those types of like sponsorship opportunities that are just like, play Star Trek Fleet Control and get 5 people to download the game and get to level 15. If you are not like 1,000 viewer Andy and you're trying to do that kind of thing to like make a quick buck, it's not going to work because you don't have enough people that might even possibly care, and you're doing free advertising. You are actually just giving them like free shit. Don't fall for the lies.
You're stupid. You're actually stupid.
Same shit with all those like fucking like Gamer Sup fucking like G Fuel type brands, because there's a million knockoff G Fuels. Same deal. Like if you are a small streamer or just whatever, or even maybe you're not even that small, maybe you're just maybe you're big and you're established and you think you know what you're doing, never take any kind of sponsorship that doesn't have money already on the table, because if they're coming to you, they ought to be paying you up front without you having to do free labor for them first in the worst case scenario.
Take it from someone who thinks they know what they're doing.
Take it from somebody who thinks they know what they're talking about. No, I see that. People think that that like getting sponsorships and things is like that's kind of like a sign of making it, and so people jump really quickly to taking some bad deals.
Yeah,
like Smosh selling out to Defy Media.
You got to do your research, ask questions. The internet's been around for a long time. It's easier to learn these things nowadays and recognize them before you fuck it up.
That thing of like having to have a sponsor to be like established and to be legitimate, I feel like that stems from like skater culture or like that kind of sport culture. It's like that was a big thing in the 90s and 2000s. It's just like, oh, you're a skater? Are you sponsored? No? Okay, then you're not like a big deal. You don't have like a brand backing.
Yeah.
That's still, it lives on today.
You gotta market yourself.
You gotta work on yourself. You gotta put in the time.
You gotta know yourself to sell to others.
Speaking of putting in the work and putting in the time, I've made a second Twitch account. An alt. You can find it at Digital Coffee is the name of it. And it exists purely for the purpose of when I'm bored and want to stream games without having to do a bunch of like, overlays and whatever and like a proper show out of it. And that's what I was playing Buckshot Roulette on last night, where I got my new high score. Yippee. It's just for that, for just like more casual, just like, there was a tweet recently that, I guess because it's kind of like a meme of raw dogging is what people call it, of just raw dogged a flight, no movies, no music, just sat with my thoughts for 4 hours, that kind of thing. So that extended into somebody saying that about like streamers who don't have like chat on screen and overlays and a bunch of redeems. They call that raw dogging. So that's my raw dogging channel.
Well, that's that, I guess.
That's raw.
No comment.
No comment. I don't want to make a comment.
Welcome back to Closing Shift. No comment.
Oh, and if that channel gets affiliated, it will have 3-minute ads on it. It is the ultimate like fuck you, I don't care channel.
If I become moderator for it, it will have 90-second ads.
Yes.
90-minute ads.
90 minutes of advertisement, Tommy Wiseau style. That's the joke that I've made about it. It's like this is
all it takes is $5.
This is my equivalent of Tommy Wiseau when he made a Twitch account purely to stream his own stuff that he's made or been in over the years and throw as many advertisements on it as possible and just let it run 24/7 until he got banned.
It's pretty funny.
Pretty great. Don't touch me, motherfucker. Have you seen The Room? Like actually watched it?
No, I haven't. Real quick also, did you have an answer for the question? What brand would you want to be sponsored by? I mean, if you don't have an answer, that's fine.
I don't think I have an answer.
I think if I had to be sponsored by one brand, I would probably want it to be like Trolley gummy worms or like
oh yeah,
Mug root beer or something. I think Mug root beer would be fun because I like Mug is like this second best to me.
Second best?
It might be the best though if you guys want to pay us.
Who would you say is the best then? Whichever one pays us first.
I mean, y'all can put that dog in me if you want. That's all I'm saying.
Maybe we do not phrase these things these ways.
Y'all can sponsor us. Is that better?
Yeah. I think I would actually I would gladly rep.
I would like to apologize.
I don't know about like brands, but there are definitely like studios or things that I would gladly like rep their shit. Like I think like game devs that I really like, I would gladly just like hype up their stuff because I already do. First thing that comes to mind is Strange Scaffold.
Mm-hmm.
They make a lot of really cool stuff. They've put out some really interesting, fun games over the past few years. They have a really crazy development cycle where they're constantly just like pushing stuff out, and they're always like working on stuff really hard and putting in maximum effort for what are ultimately really high quality shit posts. I'm a very big fan of them. Their most recent one being Clickelding.
Clickelding.
Yes, it's you have a clicker that it counts up from 1 to 9,999, and there's a guy wearing a really weird, creepy mask who's paying you a shit ton of money just to like. Basically, it's it's a play on cuckolding. So it's basically you just like click, and he's like. They try and make it as non-sexual as possible, but the adults at home can tell these jokes. It's fun for the whole family.
Uh-huh.
But I would gladly rep their shit any day of the week.
Cool. No, I haven't seen The Room. I think you've asked me that before.
I don't know if I've asked you that before. I can't imagine a scenario where I would have asked you that.
It sounds familiar. Maybe there was something similar.
Well, do you know about The Room?
Maybe.
It's very famously where, oh, hi, Mark. Like, that stuff comes from, like, I did not hit her, or I did not.
I don't fully know these things.
I watched it for the first time ever, after, of course, enjoying memes about it for many, many centuries. I finally watched it for the first time for myself in January. It is not what I was expecting. In not entirely good ways. Like in all around pretty terrible ways, really. The Room is a place of your mind. It's a place of America. I think the thing that's craziest about it is just how much nothing the movie is, and how batshit insane the ending of the movie is. Like I would say we could watch it sometime if you're down for like a little bit of like torture. But 90% of the movie is like you don't even have to watch it because they do like one interaction of dialogue, and then that's like straight into a sex scene, and then it's like another like same location, same people, another round of dialogue, and then another sex scene. I struggle to call it a movie.
Awesome. I struggle to understand or imagine it.
Here's the best way that you can imagine what The Room is. Like the experience of watching The Room. Imagine two actors in a room talking to each other awkwardly, and then it like fades away, cuts away to a different scene, except the scene it cuts away to is the exact same scene of the exact same actors having a similar awkward conversation that goes over what they were just talking about. Like, it's that kind of bad.
Sounds awesome. Pay attention to the lesson for today. I will not be repeating myself.
Room 101.
I don't know. I don't really want to watch it.
Fair enough.
I have enough issues with my brain I need to handle day to day. I don't need The Room to do what it might do to me. I don't need to be traumatized.
I wouldn't question it if a study came out tomorrow that was like, actually, multiple sclerosis is caused by Tommy Wiseau's The Room.
Don't watch The Room if you have family history of MS. It might reveal things in you can't see yourself.
Whatever you do, don't talk to Tommy Wiseau. What's the worst movie you've ever seen? We probably asked this before, but I'm curious.
That's a tough one. Worst movie I've ever seen. It would take some thinking. I don't go into many movies not knowing about what I'm going to get anyway because of trailers and stuff. I really only watch movies I'm like a fan of the stuff of already, or I'm really interested in getting into. But the worst movie I've ever seen.
Ever. I can go first if you need some time.
I just don't have a major recollection of movies I've seen. But yeah, you can go first.
I think the worst movie I've ever seen it was included as a party favor for when I was maybe like 16. I went to a birthday party and there were party favors, and one of the favors was a DVD of a movie called The Guardians. And it is like a superhero movie, but it's like not even a B movie. It's closer to like a D or an E movie. Real low budget, real low quality. And it's a movie that you can tell immediately like what kind of quality you're in for, because on the box, the main selling point of the movie is an actor who their like primary thing, their like biggest draw is where they were like a background or side character in a semi-popular thing. And they're like the main like selling point of it. It's like, we have this guy. And it's like, who the fuck is this guy?
Nice.
It was not a good movie. It's very just, it's trash. Nothing of value. But I do still, when I see the word Guardian, I can't help but, that guy who is the main selling point in the movie, he's like, you are the Guardians. He talks like that. And I still think about that. I quote that. It's one of the only fun things to come out of that film.
The only thing I can think of is, to be fair, I don't even remember if I've actually seen this movie all the way through, but I was going to say Jack and Jill with Adam Sandler.
Oh, God.
I don't know if I've actually seen that movie through, but I've seen some of it.
Dunkachino.
And technically, I've seen it, so I guess that would be the answer.
Say hello to my chocolate blend.
Like I said, I don't consensually sit myself down to watch movies that I won't know mostly what I'm getting into. Unless it's occasional enough that I wanted to watch it.
Movies are a big time investment. You don't want to invest that in trash.
Yeah, it's like, for somebody with like ADHD, it's really hard to make myself sit down and watch a movie if I don't want to watch it. Some people can just be like, I'll just go to the movie and watch it with them. It's like, no. If I don't want to watch it, then I'm going to be miserable the whole time if I force myself to sit in there and watch it. Then I will not go.
So what you're saying is you really want to watch The Room.
Nope.
Man, I really thought that's where we were going with that.
That's the opposite of what I'm saying. That's with anything. I can't force myself to consume any media I don't want to consume in the moment. Music is probably the most I can do. I like listening to new music, though.
Radio, new music. 103.6.
But the thing about music is that it's like the quickest kind of thing to consume. But I've found so much in my 20s. I've found so much new music by listening to other people's stuff or being suggested songs. So now I'm more excited to get suggestions, or other people be like, let me put this on. I'm like, I could listen to this, see if I like it, because the worst that could happen is I won't like it.
Actually, the worst that happens is that it kills you.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could do that. But doing like a movie, absolutely not. Even a show. If it's like a 24-minute episode or something, it's like an hour-long episode or some shit, then like absolutely not. If my brain's not tolerating the first episode, then I'm done, and I know I'm done.
It can be pretty hard to recommend media that like people might not be into, because it's already like awkward enough when you want to show somebody a video and you're like, oh, this is so funny. This is such a great video. And then it's just like they watch it and they're just not engaged at all. And it's just like the worst, most miserable. Like you're standing there like holding your phone, just like, oh yeah, look at this. And then they're just like not interested. And imagine spreading that experience out over the course of about 2 hours.
And you're waiting like for their reaction while you're like wasting muscle mass holding your phone up.
Yeah.
It's the worst. It makes your phone like feel heavier.
God, nothing makes me feel older than when I like bend over to pet my dog, and by the time I'm done petting her, I try to like straighten my back up and stand up, and I have to like slowly ease back into a standing position. Just like I have to give my back a moment to not like snap in half as I stand back up.
Yeah, it's either something related to like that for me, or I have to like slowly stand up, because if I don't, I'll get lightheaded and dizzy. It happens to me a lot. I guess though, this episode's gonna go up right before SummerSlam as well.
Correct.
So we're excited for SummerSlam, but you guys won't hear our conversation about it until the 9th. But that's okay. You guys can wait, right?
You're loyal, and you'll sit there and be good for us.
You'll turn on your notifications for the Spotify app or Apple Podcasts or whatever, YouTube.
You'll look out for the Gummy Bear album.
And then you'll click on the notification and listen to the episode as soon as it comes out. What format did you want to do this buckshot roulette competition you came up with?
Oh, yeah, I guess we could talk about that a bit, because we didn't talk about that in the episode. When I was playing buckshot roulette last night, I got a score that was higher than Emmy's and lower than Boomer's, and a thought came upon me that was like, you know what? It'd be really fun if Emmy and I raced to try and beat Boomer's score in buckshot roulette, which you almost did in the time between me sending you that message yesterday and us talking today.
Yep.
Because you played more buckshot roulette, and you said, with one more double or nothing, you would have overtaken.
I just hopped on this morning to do some buckshot because you made me feel like it, and then I ended up in the 900,000s, and if I had done one more double or nothing, I would have beat Boomer's record. I would have, crushed Boomer's record, so
yep.
I had to stop. I had to pull myself out of it. But, so now my record's in between and way closer to Boomer's now. Boomer's record is, what is it? Boomer's record is 1,005,952. I don't know I don't have a screenshot of my new record, and I'm only using one monitor, so I'm not going to open the game right now, but it's 900,000 something. So it's pretty close, but obviously we'd be starting from zero either way, so we could do the competition, and we could set a higher goal or something, or we could just keep going out.
Well, yeah, because the goal is to beat Boomer, not to see who gets the highest score. It's whoever beats Boomer's score first.
Right.
I think the format that I want for that is going to be a split screen view, on one side your buckshot, on one side my buckshot, and it's just that up until one of us wins. That's just kind of the format, and I guess if you wouldn't be streaming it, then it would just be over Discord.
Right.
Pretty simple, just whatever. Hey, whatever works, brosky.
Yeah, I'm down for that kind of thing. I like playing games like that in general. It's easy for me to play games like that sometimes. Buckshot roulette's when it's like a mouse only game, it's a lot easier for me to play.
Like Disney's Magical Mirror.
Right. The GameCube mouse attachment. They actually just released, speaking of mouse only, they released a new, well, first of all, for the Uno game on Steam, Ubisoft, they cleaned up the layout. There's still a weird lag between turns, but they cleaned up the layout of the game menu, and also they just released a new pack called the Uno Party Pack. It's the first non-collab one in a while, and it looks interesting. I want to play it.
Fucking Uno DLC.
I have most of the packs. I have all the non-collab ones and some of the collab ones.
What about the crab ones?
No.
Are you more fond of lobsters or crabs?
I don't know. I would probably say crabs, though.
I would say same.
Because crabs are very popular generally. You got not Crab Game, but you got Crab Champions, Another Crab's Treasure, stuff like that.
True.
Crabs have become a big thing recently.
Big into crabs.
Yeah.
I feel like crabs they're kind of like a meme animal.
Yeah. A lot more nowadays too, but
I don't think you mentioned Crab Rave.
There is also Crab Rave, yeah. I was thinking Crab Game, which is kind of that, but not really. That's
just Squid Game.
It's just called that, so it's not Squid Game, yeah.
We live in a glorious era of bootlegs. Isn't that it's a great thing in our current state of entertainment and the content that gets made, that even the shit posts are good quality and fun.
Yeah, shit posts have they've stepped up the game. The shit post game has elevated. The bar is higher.
I love that just any random person that knows how to use Unity or whatever, they can just be like, oh, what's this thing? Okay, I want to make a kind of shitty knockoff of this thing just for fun. Oops, I made something really incredible and fun. It's just so easy now for the least expected people to release some amazing things.
It's always a pleasant surprise when you find media like that.
So many skilled people, and more skilled people every day that learn the craft.
So many talented people. Shout out to all you people out there by yourselves making cool stuff.
Yeah.
We appreciate you.
But it's again that thing of people who say that gaming is so bad right now. And it's what do you mean? There's people releasing masterpieces every single day, and you're just not looking at it.
Yeah, those are people that probably like buy lure modules to put on their Pokemon Go while they're working, like under their desk.
Yeah.
So they can just make sure they get that one goal they need to catch like 50 psychic types or some shit.
Trying to power game Pokemon Go. There are people that they do walk around with like 30 iPhones all playing Pokemon Go.
There was that one guy when it like first came out who rode around on a bike with like 24 phones in his face or some shit like that.
Yeah.
I don't even know how he ever got away with that legally.
I guess it's just nobody stopped him.
I don't think it happened in America, but still.
There's no laws against the Pokemon, Batman.
I can have as many phones as I want, Batman.
iPhone Venezuela capitalism.
I'm excited. I will say I do not fully support this even though credit was given, but I played some kind of buckshot roulette multiplayer, like a simulation of what multiplayer would be like in buckshot roulette with Chandler in Roblox, just because I saw it and we were fucking around.
Which, by the way, buckshot roulette is actually getting a multiplayer update eventually. They're working on it.
It is. That's why I said it was like a taste of it, kind of like an idea, a concept of what it would be like. And I actually had a ton of fun, and I think that it's going to be even better when it's in the real game. I think it's going to be pretty promising as a competitive mode. I'm sure there will be like you can play like just online against people, but I think as a party game, it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be a little tough after a while because like for people like me, if I get a string of lucky enough items, I know how to use them to end the round like instantly. I know how to win. So I'm hoping it doesn't come down to that with like friends, because that'd be a little toxic, but it was fun. And also the funny part to me is one of the funny parts to me is that I told Chandler like, yeah, this game is based on RNG, but there's also a lot of strategy to it. And I was kind of like kicking Chandler's ass. To be fair, the RNG was kind of like placing...
You have to have good enough strategy that when the luck falls in your hands, you know how to use it.
It was giving me like a stupid amount of heals. So I had like enough heals to heal my entire health. So Chandler was just like yelling like, oh, this game takes strategy, blah, blah, blah. No, it fucking doesn't. You fucking win. This game is giving you unlimited heals, blah, blah, blah. He was yelling like Chandler does.
Of course.
Eventually, I was like, come on, you should give it another try. And eventually he was talking out his strategy out loud and being like, if I do this, it'll work like this. And then if I use this item afterwards, I can do this. And next turn I can use this. And I was like, what was that I said earlier? What did I say? What was that word? Strategy. Oh, okay. Yeah. And I kind of let him know, yeah, I told you so. And that's why I like buckshot roulette. I mean, I still feel, I don't know if it's like weirdly proud or confidently proud, but I do feel proud to some degree that I played a Mike Klubnika game. He had an early access alpha for like years before Buckshot came out. In my 1-3 Scary Games video, the second game I played is called Control Room Alpha. It is by the man himself, Mike Klubnika. And I remembered his name when I saw he made Buckshot Roulette, and I was like, where do I know that name from? And then I looked at my video and I was like, holy shit, I played his game like 2 years ago. And that demo is also very good.
What game is it?
It's called Control Room Alpha.
That is what you said.
That is what I said. It's on itch.io for free, I think, or like a name your price thing, how they do. And it is good. It's like a 5 to 10 minute experience, depending on how long it takes you, but it's really good and pretty scary as well. But I think Mike definitely hit a home run with Buckshot Roulette. And if you go play Control Room Alpha for yourself, you'll get a very similar feel for the like art style and noises and stuff, the atmosphere.
I think the people, I don't remember what brand it is or what publisher it is that published Buckshot Roulette, but they also published a game called like Arctic Eggs, I think is what it's called.
Critical Reflex?
Is that what the publisher is called?
I'm looking on Steam. Yeah, that's what they're called. Arctic Eggs, yep.
There's just like a few publishers these days that when I see them like putting stuff out, it really fills me with like a lot of hope. Because, you know, there are like a lot of really shitty things that happen in the games industry. And for a while, you know, there was just like no favoritism at all towards indie titles and indie devs. But now we get things like New Blood and Critical Reflex and all these publishers like Outer Sloth also, and whatever Ludwig's company, whatever that's Off Canny? No, what is it?
Dream Team. I don't know what it is.
Big Mode, that's Donkeys. Like, it really is amazing to see where indie gaming is right now, where if you're just somebody who, like, you know how to make a game and you got the effort to actually make it, there are publishers that are founded by people doing what they're doing, which are just indie devs who really want to do something and just really have an idea and are just really determined, that because they hit it big, now they're like extending that to other people in the field and giving other indie devs the same chance that they had. And it's led to some really amazing things. Like Animal Well came out, first published game of Big Mode, and it's fucking amazing. So I'm just really happy to see the state of indie gaming currently. What fills you with hope? Answer at home in the comment section below.
That's a good question. What fills me with hope? Coffee, Adderall. I don't know. Life's been tough lately.
Turns out hope is chemically indistinct from caffeine.
It's just it's tough to think of things as hopeful. I have to think of things so literally and immediate right now. I'm in a busy point in my life where I gotta be busy and I gotta be thinking about every move, and that sucks. Something that makes me feel hope though is that I've been enjoying more feminine presentation again. Something also that I feel pretty hopeful about is I think I've figured out what major I'm going to go with in school. I'm not entirely sure yet, but I've got something down I'm thinking about, and I can still think back every here and there and be like, we're still doing our cool thing in October. That's exciting. And if you weren't listening or you're stupid, we're going to WWE Bad Blood in October. On October 5th, we will be there. As we said last week to the millions and millions of you, do not come up to us and say hi to us. That would be incredibly rude to WWE and their show. And
that would be rude to WWE and to we.
That would be really rude to WWE and Rhea Ripley. You should all be paying attention to Rhea Ripley if you're there.
Please leave we alone, because we do not want to see you.
How many more you got?
That event is like, that is the light at the end of the tubble. Tubble.
That's what happens when you say we like that so many times.
It is the light at the end of the tunnel of 2024, that no matter how, like, how shitty...
It's the light of the last quarter of the tunnel.
No matter how shitty, like, the rest of the year is and is going to be, because, of course, it's an election year. Whoopee.
Yeah, isn't that some shit? We have to deal with that, like, right after.
You get a little healing checkpoint in October to regain some strength before the election.
Right.
I will say I have never been, in probably, since 2016, I have never been more hopeful for an election because of the fact, like, not to dip into politics, but I am so happy that Joe Biden dropped out. It's like, thank God.
Boo, Biden forever.
We might not be, like, locked into permanent purgatory.
Hashtag bring Biden back.
We're actually going to have, like, a candidate on the roster that isn't geriatric, and that fills me with a good amount of hope. Kamala
does fill me with hope, I will admit. That is also something I feel very hopeful about.
I've seen so many people trying to use this as, like, they're very famously right now, famous white boy, Machino Dorito is what his TikTok is. And he just made, like, a super insensitive TikTok that was just like, oh yeah, so police violence and all that, but now you want to vote for a cop? Just, like, completely missing the mark on everything. It gave a lot of the same vibe to me as...
Yeah, and you want to vote for a felon. Talk some shit.
Well, there's, like, so much, it's what leftists are best at is infighting. And of course, if whatever candidate goes forward isn't the perfect exemplary example of a leftist and a revolutionary, then we can't have them.
Yeah.
We have to tear down literally everything that may or may not be a good idea just because it isn't perfect. And it gives me a lot of the same vibe with his video with that as, like, back in 2020 when Brittany Broski made a TikTok about, like...
This is interesting.
It's literally, it's, like, directly related. Because he made a video, because there was recently And this is something that there should be a lot of awareness spread around. I guess this will dip into politics for a moment just to talk about this. There was another massive incident of police violence recently with a woman named Sonia Massey. And it's bringing a lot more attention to where things kind of were 4 years ago with a lot of the protests that happened then. It's very similar, kind of same sort of kindling now as was there in 2020. So that's why it brings so directly to mind with this video of the guy being like, oh, so there's all this cop violence, now you want to vote for a cop? And just completely being so insensitive and missing the mark just to say something really stupid. As Brittany Broski did back in 2020, when the news first broke about a lot of the police violence incidents then, with things like George Floyd, where she just went, can we just not, to like police violence, just like, can we just not do police violence? It's just like, oh my God.
Listen, broski, I don't know if that's the way to go about it, broski.
Just like the least sensitive way of addressing it.
Can we not is a little too quiet, a little too low level for the issue.
Yep. That's what you do when your friend is being annoying in public, not when people are fucking dying. So I get a lot of the same off of this.
Yeah, not that anyone listens to our show except for Schultzman. But I will say our hearts do go out to Sonia's family. That is awful. That is so disgusting. I'm glad that cop got charged with murder. Fuck that guy. I hope he rots in hell. Hope he rots in prison and then in hell.
God, and the response to it is like even more disgusting now than it was 4 years ago. It's somehow even worse.
It's just, it's so stupid that people out there just do this shit, and we have to go through these times to have a catalyst to do anything about any of this shit, because nothing gets done about this shit. Everything, should we just like stop? Should we just like not politically fuel the end of this podcast?
It's yeah, I think we got like what we needed to say about that.
I don't want to keep like digging into it.
Yeah,
it just sucks. We should do more about the police and stuff, and I do genuinely feel, I just think women are better for being in charge of this country, because we need like a motherly figure and not like an abusive stepdad.
Yeah, we live in a hellish clown world where we have to pretend every day that the horrible things happening are normal, right? And it's very easy to grow numb within that and to just like let it wash over you, just like, oh, everything's horrible all the time and it's going to be that way. As hard as it is to care about things these days, sometimes you do just have to care.
Yeah.
I suppose that does bring us to the end of this 27th episode.
I guess it could. Is there anything else we wanted to get out?
Oh, I truly don't know. Nothing on topic, that's for sure.
Me neither on that note. But spread love and kindness. Tell someone you love them today.
And if you see somebody being a dickhead on the internet, you should probably ignore them.
Yeah.
All right. Have a good day. Or night, because it's the closing shift.
See you all next week.